so don't believe everything people say on the internet. What is up, everybody? This is Branded Player 23, and today we will be talking about the new rules Konami implemented last week for the length of all matches in tournaments, the end of match procedures, and also top cut rules. I played a tournament at my local store yesterday, so I got a taste firsthand of the new rule set. I'll tell you my first thoughts of the new procedures moving forward and also what to expect from the game from now on. Before we start, hit the like button and subscribe. Let's get into the video. Well, the main reason why I wanted to attack this video is because of how other YouTubers are building up a huge turmoil of smoke regarding these new rules. See, a lot of the YouTubers in the YouTube community have reached fame because they have topped on an important event, or having a good performance in a major event also increase their fame a lot. So we could consider a lot of them to be good, great, or even excellent, some of the best players out there. The reason why the community is in such distress about it is because of the wording that the rules have, I believe. And I also want to add something. Just because it says something in paper that sounds bad does not mean it's bad. Like, everybody is criticizing how the new rules and the implementation of the new procedures is going to affect negatively the game, but nobody's mentioning that first we had 5 more minutes for every round. Yes, there's more rounds, and that can be more exhausting, especially for larger tournaments, but we don't have to worry about someone intentionally trying to draw with us. And that's a resource that, for good or for bad, people have been using. And I don't want to say I myself included, I will not prefer to tie in with an opponent just because I don't like them. That's something very, very bad to do, actually. But it's part of the procedures in the tournaments, and we have to follow it. Sometimes you're about to beat somebody and time runs out. Yes, I used to run Masquerade for it, but it's because the rules are set that way. If you can burn the opponent for 600 right before the match ends and you can win, it's a great thing to do. I personally am a slow player. It doesn't mean I play the game bad. I probably don't do it on purpose. I'm just self-aware of it. Most people will say that in some situations, I take longer than what is expected and could be even considered stalling. It's not something that one may want to do on purpose. I understand how it affects the game, especially if I know my combos. Nobody should take long than a few seconds to do each play, especially if it's a regular play in their combo. That being said, this is something I'm working regularly on doing. I'm always training during my streams, seeing what the meta decks are, what plays they have, where can I interrupt, where it's worth doing, so I don't have to be guessing or waiting because I'm doing something that is just making the opponent play slower, and they might end up having the same board or having the same results if I didn't interrupt them. That just counterproducing for the game. So these new rules, I think they have a special effect on the psychology of the players. And since they understand that there's no benefit on getting into a draw with their opponent, and I think everybody could agree that the best way for both to win is if one of us wins the game and moves forward, because with a double loss and us both losing the match, that's going to mess up our tiebreakers, which actually it's a really good talking point about why these new rule changes are important. Draws are bad for tiebreakers, especially in larger tournaments. See, Yu-Gi-Oh! At the competitive level, it's usually talking about a tournament with 7+ rounds where people with the higher tiebreakers, people who win the most matches, will be at the very top. But in each level of winners, if somebody is sharing a tie or a draw from a previous round, those people will be placed on top of the people who only have that same amount of wins. And that's part of the game. It's used in other sports like football, but in reality, it doesn't serve when it's abused as a mechanic or as a resource to ensure that you get a position in a major tournament. So tiebreakers are something that Konami is trying to get rid of. They already got rid of the draw. And even if the players get into 3 duels and they haven't decided who wins because it just happened, they need to go into a 4th duel to ensure that they do it. Also, some decks take too long to complete their combos. It's nobody's fault that Malice or Yummy, hell, even Dracotail could take up to 5 minutes to do a single turn with even no interruptions. You have to manually take your deck, search for cards, manually check your extra deck, look for the cards, place them on the field, move them to the graveyard, to do anything, to do everything by the law. And your opponent is just basically supervising you that you don't misplay on purpose or that you don't make any mistakes with the cards that you need to move. So this is solely Konami's fault, and the way that they have to address it, because they cannot hurry the players, they cannot push the players to play quicker. There's so many judges at a large event and they cannot just police every single table to make sure that everybody plays fast. So I think this is a good step when Konami involves the players into playing faster to make the game an experience where there's going to be a winner and a loser, and that's fine. It's a game. The drawing part, again, should just go out. Also, one very important detail about this new policy is that it punishes bad behavior. See, some people may want to draw or make your opponent lose on purpose. Like sometimes you feel like you're not going to make it and you will purposely make your opponent draw with you. I despise that greatly. Why would you do something like that in a game that is made for kids if you're an adult? But now with the new policies, the only way that both players will get a game loss is, first of all, if they not only if they don't get a clear winner, which we would agree it's something very stupid, especially if both are playing meta decks and have good matchups through on what they see in the tournament, but also you could go into a double game loss because your opponent didn't like you or felt in a certain way about you. Maybe the policy only will be a punishment enough, but if in a tournament I get to know somebody had a double loss, I'll be on the lookout of playing with either of those players, because number one, I don't want that to happen in any of my matches. Like if you win, you win. If I win, I win. Have a clear winner. But if it's a repetitive tactic, I mean, we can agree that it's more on the player side rather than Konami. Let me tell you about the experience that I had at my local store this weekend. It was 50 minutes game. It was a tier 1 event. We were dueling for the price of the World's envelope cards. I played the first 2 matches. I started with a bye, then I won my next 2 matches, and everything went very smooth. We had 50 minutes per round. Even the organizers were they were very sarcastic about, wow, Yu-Gi-Oh players are running really quick today with their matches. Like, we had 5 rounds in less than 5 hours. That's something that is not very seen. And we had a simultaneous event at another store. They played 5 to 4 rounds and they finished first. So we were running behind schedule. Like, this is something that it's not very seen here. Yes, I'm a slow player, but there's way worse people, and I try to not be like them every day by practicing. So I really think the Yu-Gi-Oh YouTubers are blowing this out of proportion. So don't believe everything people say on the internet. There's a reason why they make their videos the way they make them, necessarily to gather harness views. I just think my experience was very positive in this tournament, and I think everybody's experience will be great moving forward. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if you have had any experience with someone that plays slow, but it was not that bad, let me know as well. So if you're a slow player, also let me know. I'll give you some tips and tricks on how to be better. This is Brandon Player 23, guys, signing out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.